CEO of Twitch, regarding embedding.
So like, what's your stance on viewbots and stuff like that?
Well, we spend a lot of time trying to manage viewbots. So my stance is I don't like viewbots, but
yeah.
that's called the internet, and so it's something. It's one of those deals where you're.
It's an arms race. But when you know someone is using embeds as an exploit to get to the top of categories and earning sponsorships for their illegitimate viewership, that's a problem in a whole nother sense.
You're always, it's a cat and mouse game because you're always kind of working on it to try and reduce viewbots. It affects, streamers. It affects the community. And so it's one of the challenges. It's still an issue. I can't say viewbotting isn't an issue now. It's always an issue.
I call it the viewbotting 2.0. Embed their stream, and then they hide their stream on like a wiki or a website, and they'll put it in some cases they'll have like dimensions on the website where the embed doesn't even show. It's muted and it's hidden like 4 pages down, and you will literally never find it.
I know it well.
Yeah, I saw this guy, the Dapper Foxtrot, some small YouTuber with no subscribers, so fuck him, but he definitely talked about that.
It's a tricky situation because there are legitimate uses of embedding where people are really watching the stream.
Right.
And then there are people that abuse it, and it's tricky to distinguish. One of the things that we have to look at is also how this affects discovery. Because
I like how he says people abuse it, which is to admit that it can be abused. It can be used against its intended purpose.
That's one of the challenges is, of course, one person goes to the top of discovery because they get a big view count, but then their chat is dead and they're not really 30,000 people.
Well, they're hijacking the
He knows that it's Fextra Life. He knows exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah. Now the good news is it's certainly happening, and it's something we're definitely looking at. It's unfortunately the solution, especially in terms of the discovery. One of the challenges you always face in companies is there's all this software that makes all this work, and sometimes it's built in a certain way where something you'd think might be easy actually isn't easy to do because
he got a little allergy kicking in because he's allergic to bullshit. So I understand legacy software and it being hard to overwrite code, but certainly you could task someone to look into, let's make embed viewership not count, make it so that people can't do it with embeds. But then he comes back with the point of, well, there is legitimate reasons to use embedding, but some people abuse it. So they're not going to get rid of embeds counting for views.
The way that the code is written, it's hard to tease it apart. And like one of the challenges we always face is the whole issue of prioritization of resources, because
that's right. It doesn't make us money to legitimize who gets authentic viewership or not. Where's the profit for Twitch in doing that?
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
We need to accept the fact that they're not legitimate viewers, but it's making our site look good because it's adding to the overall viewer count of people engaged on Twitch in general.
There'll be things we might be like, no, we'd love to stop that, but am I going to shift someone from doing something that's going to drive growth for a creator? And that's always a trade-off. So
maybe I'm biased.
Looking at the problem now.
You are biased, Quinn, but every streamer on Twitch is biased towards that's a bullshit answer. You need to prioritize this, or you're going to lose the good faith of a lot of people, including people who want to sponsor, people who are trying to just even legitimize Twitch as a place where you can advertise. But if you allow this to persist, the trust is gone, as it has been with Unity.
I'm biased, Clancy, but I feel like it is. I feel like it is a high priority problem, because what's happening is it's kind of like a race at the bottom where for the past year and a half, every category I've been in has been just filled with embedders. Okay, and it's like every category, every single game. There is embedders there, and it's the same thing happening over and over and over again. More and more people are doing it. Because you're like, well, it's not against the TOS, it clearly works. it's the fastest way to grow my stream. Like,
You're talking to a CEO who has to answer to stakeholders of a publicly traded company because it's a division of Amazon. So he's not going to prioritize resources that cost money for something that's not going to earn them any profit. But what he fails to see is that good faith has a monetary value, and that's brutal.
I think the meeting is later next week where the team is coming and talking to me about the different options and how we can handle it.
yes. I mean, 'cause it sounds like, I mean, you're totally on board and you understand and you agree. Because, yeah, do you think
There's no argument. There is no argument about the, you know, the fact that we don't want that to happen. Okay. The issue is, you know, just the different ways to stop it and trying to make sure you figure out the right way to stop it.
The more you can do to present legitimate numbers, because the basis for how people judge what's a stream worth clicking into, what's a stream worth sponsoring, where should I place my ad budget if I want to advertise to certain viewers for certain products. It's based on viewership alone when it comes to Twitch. So if numbers are being artificially inflated as a result of this illegitimate embedding, you need to just turn off embedding counting. There's no benefit to it. As far as I can tell, 9 out of 10 cases of Twitch embedding is not a positive user experience. And people talk about, you know, we'll quote Fextra Life's public announcement about how we're trying to work with Twitch and promote users going from our website over to their ecosystem. But you can't properly leverage the features of the embed, especially chat, unless you're logged in as a user, in which case you might as well just already be on Twitch. Turning off counting viewership through an embed does not eliminate the notion of getting users from a wiki to navigate and join the Twitch ecosystem. That would still be possible. It doesn't change how the user feels whatsoever. It only changes the amount of viewership that is earned by a Twitch stream. And you will see a number of Twitch streams plummet down the drain. Fextra Life, most especially, because nobody's going to sit there and watch one of those boring ass streams looking at someone's cat cam. There are lots of streams with pet cams on them. Fextra Life is an especially boring one. Good faith is more valuable than money long term. And I know you're trying really hard to compete with Kick right now, but you need to err on the side of authenticity because people still hold Twitch in higher regard compared to Kick. Because when people think about Kick, they think, oh, that's where all of like the gambling or softcore, well, anyway, there's more to see that's more entertaining, clean, fun entertainment on Twitch than there is on Kick. That's my opinion.
And the doing the work, because, you know, again, unfortunately, these things aren't snap your fingers and it just happens. But I think it is something.
But it should be. I get you're a big company, but it should be. Do it faster. Do it now.